Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert has announced that two pieces of legislation she introduced to affect energy needs for Americans have passed. The Biden administration is colluding with Green New Deal extremists to slow down energy leasing, clog up the bureaucratic pipeline, and threaten American energy producers with frivolous lawsuits. My American Energy Act cuts red tape to unleash American energy by extending the term of APDs from 2 years to 4 years to reduce unnecessary paperwork, ensuring agencies process permits under a valid existing lease regardless of any unrelated civil action, and by prohibiting activist judges from unilaterally vacating valid energy leases, the Congresswoman said to the Crescent City Times. In short, H.R. 1067 will help reduce gas prices by providing certainty for responsible energy production and preventing baseless litigation. With the price at the pump skyrocketing and the international energy market destabilizing, the world needs American energy now more than ever, she said. For over 2 years, the Biden administration has slow-walked oil and gas permits, ultimately driving up energy costs for the American people. It doesn't have to be this way, and I thank Congresswoman Boebert for leading legislation to speed up the permitting process from frivolous lawsuits. House Natural Resources Subcommittee on Federal Lands Chairman Congressman Tom Tiffany said. The Biden administration's anti-America agenda is on full display, especially in the energy industry. The rapid and massive decline in the approval of drilling permits by Biden's Department of the Interior is a clear demonstration of its opposition to American oil and gas production. Congresswoman Boebert's American Energy Act would create a more efficient approval process for drilling permits and prevent radical Green New Deal judges from inserting their personal politics into our nation's critical energy infrastructure, he said. My American Energy Act and 90-Day Review Act streamline energy production and cut through bureaucratic red tape. Both of my bills passed with bipartisan support, which is a win for all of us, she said on Twitter. It's time to unleash America's energy and mineral power. The fact that the APD's backlog is at 5,000 is ridiculous and makes no sense. We must stop the Biden administration's agenda that puts the American people and affordable energy last. I'm proud to join Congresswoman Boebert on this important issue, Republican Representative Troy Nell said. Since day one of his presidency, Biden has been at war with American energy production. The policies of his administration have taken our country from energy dominance to energy dependence in just 2 years, an absolutely crushing blow to hard-working citizens in Wyoming and around the nation. Congress must do everything it can to take back control from the executive branch, administrative state, and activist courts. The American Energy Act will ensure faster permitting and a common-sense process for dealing with frivolous litigation in a timely manner, Representative Harriet Hagerman said. Joe Biden has purposely sabotaged domestic oil production by slow-walking drilling permits with endless red tape and frivolous legal disputes that are hurting every American. I am proud to support this common-sense legislation to halt these delays and put America back on a track towards energy independence, Representative Paul Gosar said. Joe Biden's energy policy has been to kill the Keystone XL pipeline, approve the Russian Nord Stream 2 pipeline, beg OPEC to drill more, and buy our solar panels from China. Biden must be held accountable for his hostility to American energy and jobs, and Representative Boebert's bill to end Biden's stonewalling of domestic drilling applications is a great step, Representative Ryan Walker said. The press release went on to cite others who celebrated the passage of the legislation. Ryan Walker, Vice President of Government Relations of Heritage Action, said, "A reliable and timely permitting process is critical to maintaining America's energy dominance." Congresswoman Boebert's bill will restore certainty in the permitting process and unleash American energy exploration and production. We encourage all members to hold the Biden administration accountable for impeding American oil and gas production by supporting H.R. 1067, the American Energy Act. Richard Manning, President of Americans for Limited Government, stated, President Joe Biden urged energy companies to reinvest in new oil production and refining in his State of the Union address. Representative Lauren Boebert has introduced legislation which will help accomplish his newfound interest in increased domestic oil and natural gas production. Boebert's bill would increase federal government approvals of applications to drill and extend the time approved applications are valid from 2 to 4 years. Representative Boebert is reaching across the partisan divide to give the president basic common sense legislation that he should be able to support in his recent quest for more oil and natural gas domestic development. Let's see if Joe was just blowing smoke or if he has finally come to the realization that dependency on countries that may not like us very much for oil and natural gas is dangerous both economically and for our national security. Kathleen Sgamma, president of Western Energy Alliance, stated, "Western Energy Alliance strongly supports Representative Boebert's bill to add certainty to the federal oil and natural gas permitting process. The west slope of Colorado is held back economically because of uncertainty on federal lands, which make up the majority of production in her district. The Biden administration has been increasing that uncertainty by threatening to cancel permits after only 2 years. In addition, environmental groups litigate any leases sold in an attempt to convince judges to cancel them on the basis of incomplete NEPA. Congress intended that NEPA analysis ensure federal projects consider and mitigate environmental impacts, not be used as a weapon to stop energy production. By clarifying that courts can order more NEPA analysis but not turn NEPA into a means to cancel leases and other energy projects, the bill will return NEPA to its original intent." Chelsea Mira, executive director of the West Slope Colorado Oil and Gas Association, stated, "The West Slope Colorado Oil and Gas Association supports Representative Boebert's American Energy Act since it will cut bureaucratic red tape and allow American energy producers to do what they do better and safer here than anywhere else in the world: keep the lights on and keep our economy running." Tim Stewart, president of U.S. Oil and Gas Association, said, "The federal leasing and permitting process under this administration has gone completely off the rails. Leases and permits remain tied up in courts while valuable federal mineral assets that exist for the sole purpose of use by the American people remain unavailable." Representative Boebert's legislation provides the much-needed degree of certainty energy producers need to be able to develop these assets on behalf of the American people.